we want to propose that the motion on the other paper stand over to our next plenary. We take this opportunity to welcome the President of the Republic for coming to the NCOP to address us on his annual address to the House. We further take this opportunity to welcome you, sir, to take the podium and to address us. Mr. President.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Chairperson of the NCOP, Ms. Thandi Modise, Honorable Deputy Chairperson of the NCOP, Mr. Raseriti Taung, Ministers and Honorable Premiers, Deputy Ministers and MECs, Executive Mayors, Honorable members of the NCOP, members of Parliament and members of the legislatures, the leadership of SALGA, special guests, thank you for the privilege for addressing the National Council of Provinces today. It is always a pleasure to come to the National Council of Provinces. This House brings together the three spheres of government to discuss matters which affect the lives of our people. You have chosen the theme for this year's annual address and debate as, and I quote, celebrating 20 years of democratic parliament, together moving the NCOP forward as a vanguard of the interests of provinces, unquote. The theme reminds us of the progress that the country has made over the past 20 years. We are meeting here today in a free, democratic parliament because we fought relentlessly and dismantled apartheid colonialism. At times, people don't realize that was a big achievement of the people of this country that need to be celebrated. We should not forget. I know that at times other people forget because it is easy to forget where we come from. It's part of the celebration that we succeeded as a people of this country to defeat a system that was condemned by the whole world as a crime against humanity. That is a major achievement that we should never lose sight of. as South African or forget. At times I hear people, when they are in their mood, saying it was better under apartheid. And ngithi mhlambe babengakazalwa. Honorable Chairperson, Chapter 4 of the Constitution outlines the role of the National Council of Provinces as being to represent the provinces and to ensure that provincial interests are taken into account in the national sphere of government. This makes this a very important House of Parliament as it deals with matters that affect our people directly. The NCOP has played this role efficiently over the past few years. This House has provided a platform for the provinces to shape legislation and the national agenda. The NCOP has also diligently processed many transformative laws falling within its oversight, particularly the Section 76 bills which affect provinces. Another remarkable achievement of the NCOP has been the program of taking Parliament to the people. Lendlu ye Parliament i-NCOP inezinhlelo ezinhle lapho iParlamente lihambela imiphakathi. Abantu bathola ithuba lokuba ingxenye yeParlamente, babambe iqhaza, babike izinkinga zabo, babeke nemibono kalula. Siyanhalalisela ngalolu hlelo oluhle kangaka. Abanye abantu ababogcina beyizwa ngendaba iParliament bayibona ngosi ifika kubona. Inhle leyo nto sihlalo. Honorable Chairperson, the NCOP has also played a very meaningful role in the continent, sharing experiences, helping various countries in shaping their own houses of parliament. It is through our effectively functioning institutions such as the NCOP that we are able to celebrate 20 years of democracy with pride and a strong sense of satisfaction and achievement. Indeed, South Africa is a much better place to live in now than it was before 1994. For that, we should congratulate ourselves as South Africans. We can count many achievements that we have scored working together. South Africa today is a stable democracy with a firmly entrenched human rights culture. Our constitution is recognized as being one of the most progressive in the world. Our democratic institutions are vibrant and independent. We have held 5 successful democratic elections in our country. We also pride ourselves of the fact that freedom of association and freedom of expression are part and parcel of daily life in South Africa, guaranteed by our Constitution. Our independent judiciary system is respected for its high standards and integrity. Indeed, South Africa has a good story to tell. And it is a story of success and achievement. We appreciate these achievements more when we think of where we come from. The reality of the vast majority of our people before 1994 was poverty and deprivation with no hope for a better future. Every aspect of society was designed to favor the minority at great expense to the majority of our people. The entire structure of our society had to be dismantled and reassembled to give effect to the imperative of equality. This we have done. We have not as yet completed the transformation process yet, but we have certainly made a good start in the past 20 years. Among our key achievements has been the development and implementation of policies that favor the poor. The result is that our country is on track to achieve most of the United Nations Millennium Development Goals by 2015. We have made good progress in meeting these goals, which include the eradication of extreme poverty, the achievement of universal primary education, attaining gender equality, and the empowerment of women, reducing child mortality, improving material health, improving maternal health, reducing the burden of disease through primarily combating HIV and AIDS, malaria, tuberculosis, protecting the environment, and mobilizing global partnerships for development by 2015. What is more impressive with the achievement of the education targets is that the promotion of girls attending primary, secondary, and tertiary education has improved significantly. We have also recorded progress through our infrastructure plan in building and renovating clinics and hospitals. We are also continuing to implement the National Health Insurance Scheme at a number of pilot sites. The scheme is aimed at making access to health equal for all, regardless of class or financial means. Our remarkable achievements with regards to providing treatment, care, and support for persons living with HIV is positively acknowledged by the United Nations AIDS Program. The life expectancy of our people has improved dramatically because government has succeeded to prioritize the fight against diseases, including HIV. We also need to produce more doctors and other key health professionals. We trust that the honorable premiers will continue to work with national government as they have been doing to recruit young people for medical training locally and abroad. Our comprehensive social assistance program has enabled us to do well in meeting the Millennium Development Goal aimed at eradicating extreme poverty. Government provides extensive income support programs such as social grants for the poor, access to free education and primary health care, and the provision of free basic services such as water and electricity to poor households. Honorable Chairperson, we are taking these achievements forward through implementing the National Development Plan. The plan is one of the major achievements of the fourth administration. The NDP requires us to undertake certain measures to grow the economy and create jobs. We are implementing various programs such as the Industrial Policy Action Plan and the National Infrastructure Plan to promote inclusive growth and development. We are also implementing the NDP through the innovative delivery program Operation Pakisa. We have launched Operation Pakisa 1, which focuses on unlocking the potential of the country's oceans. Studies show that the ocean economy presents an estimated potential of 177 billion rand contribution to the GDP, and to create between 800,000 and 1 million jobs by 2033. We are working with business, labor, academia, and civil society to ensure success on this program. Later this month, we will launch Operation Pakisa 2, aimed at improving the functioning of clinics. On infrastructure, we are working closely with the premiers and executive mayors who are members of the Presidential Infrastructure Coordinating Commission in order to unlock and fast-track infrastructure projects. During the past 5 years, we invested about 1 trillion rand in new infrastructure to provide water, energy, transport, sanitation, schools, clinics, and internet connections to our people. Over the next 3 years, we will spend 847 billion rand on infrastructure. A lot has been done already in the past few months with regards to infrastructure development. In the past 100 days of this new administration, 12 schools were completed to replace dilapidated structures. 33 schools were provided with sanitation and 22 with electrification. In addition to 3 new universities that we are establishing, 16 sites have been identified for the construction of 12 new technical and vocational education and training college campuses. Honorable Chairperson, we also continue to support business financing, promoting economic transformation in the process. We have, through the Industrial Development Cooperation, disbursed about 2.61 billion rand in the first 100 days of the 5th administration. In addition, for the period from May to August 2014, this year, the Public Investment Corporation approved over 4.7 billion rand for job-creating investments. These new projects have created and maintained 16,884 jobs across a range of industries such as renewable energy, agriculture, and agro-processing, as well as small and medium enterprises. Honorable Chair and honorable members, South Africa has a good story to tell. Even though we have not reached every South African yet, the lives of millions have changed for the better already. We have continued to make progress in providing basic services to the people in the 100 days of the new administration. We have connected 48,751 households to the electricity grid, and 3,786 households were provided with access to electricity using non-grid technologies. Siyaquba. The electricity shortage in our country continues to be of concern, hence the announcement that we are developing an energy security master plan. The plan will include an energy mix comprising nuclear, coal, solar, shale gas, renewable energy, and other forms. Honorable Chairperson, water continues to be a challenge for many communities. To take water a key priority To make water a key priority, we established a standalone department in May this year and separated it from environmental affairs. We have already done some visible work in the past 100 days. The Municipal Infrastructure Support Agency is providing technical support to 27 poor priority district municipalities to assist them to deal with water and sanitation blockages. In the past 100 days, practical training has been provided to 17 wastewater process controllers and 22 artisans in the Vembe district municipality in Limpopo. A similar program for 127 identified apprentices is being extended to Ugu, Utungulu, and Herikwala district municipalities in KwaZulu-Natal. The eradication of bucket toilets continues to be high on our agenda. 513 households had their bucket toilet system replaced with ablution facilities in the Northern Cape through the Municipal Infrastructure Support Agency Bucket Eradication Program. The Presidential Infrastructure Coordinating Commission has also facilitated a project to eradicate the system at Hob House in the Mansopa local community in the Free State. The bucket system was still a major form of sanitation for 3,900 residents in this community. Government has also facilitated electrical connections to boreholes in Ngobi village in the Northwest Province, ensuring safe water supply to 5,000 people. The lack of capacity of the Galamodiri Molema district municipality to render water services functions has been dealt with. Rand Water was directed to provide these services until the functions were transferred to either Machalis or Sedibeng water boards. Last week, we visited the community of Giyani in Limpopo to celebrate the provision of water to 55 villages, alleviating water shortages. Alleviating water shortages in Mopani district municipality. The Makana district municipality is unable to provide effective bulk water supply to the city of Grahamstown, resulting in frequent disruptions in water supply. Amatole Water has been directed to implement a refurbishment plan and to bring the systems into full operation. Water restrictions had been imposed in Mangaung due to drought conditions in the Free State. The Department of Water and Sanitation intervened to transfer water from the Lesotho Highlands water project into the Caledon River to relieve the water situation. These releases also benefited the towns in the Setsoto and Mohokare local municipalities, which also draw water from the Caledon River. Government has also launched the first phase of project to supply water from Jozini Dam to the people of Umkhanyakude district municipality in KwaZulu-Natal. This will be the first time in 40 years that these communities benefit from this dam, which was built in 1973 as a single-purpose dam for agriculture use. The project will provide 16,200 households with water. Abantu basemkhanyakude sebezothola amanzi ngenxa yalolu hlelo olusha lukahulumeni lokudonsa amanzi. Lokudonsa amanzi edamini eJozini elalakhelwe ezolimo. Singayeka kanjani ukugubha bakwethu? Hey. Hayibo. Zishintshile impilo. Life has changed, absolutely. To ensure that all these programs succeed, local government needs to function effectively. We hosted a presidential summit on local government in September this year and called upon our municipalities to go back to the basics and deliver services to our people more efficiently. This is not because the other spheres of government do not have challenges. We are prioritizing local government because it is closest to the people. It should be the best performing sphere as it is the first port of call for services. This fifth administration will thus work tirelessly to assist struggling municipalities and to prioritize local government in general. It is for this reason that we are also increasing the municipal infrastructure grant quite considerably so as to enhance capacity in our municipalities. Efforts to strengthen and broaden public participation in local service delivery through ward committees are in progress. In the past 100 days, a total of 450 ward-level service improvement plans have been developed focusing on, amongst others, the filling of potholes, non-functioning traffic lights, curbing against service interruptions, attending to billing queries, and cleaning of open spaces. More than 3,200 ward service improvement plans have been developed to date. When we say back to basics, we are saying to our people, let us do simple but important things. Just sweep. Just sweep in front of your house. Just make it look clean. Very important. Very important, because at times the circumstances, if we live in dirty places, that influences even our thinking at times. During our time, before the child left for school, they woke up, cleaned the house, and then have a bath, be ready to go. Also was training them to become clean citizens. Sesihlala no auntie. Abasabu kuyithethisa ngoba uzothetha umama. Serious. Education from home is very basic and very important. The National Development Plan promotes active citizenry and partnerships in building our country. We must leave the tendency that government will come and sweep and just depend that government one day will come and do this. There is a story that a dam was built in one place by government and put water, and people were using it. And at some point, a dog died in the water. They were waiting for government to come to remove the dog. That's a tendency, wrong culture, that makes citizens not to participate in their own development. We need to change that culture. That's why the campaign which says back to basics. In this regard, I have convened the Presidential Business Working Group and have also met with the mining sector to discuss how to revitalize and strengthen that industry following a series of difficulties. The Deputy President met the NetLeg partners on the 4th of November to take forward the labor dialogue. We will also be engaging other stakeholders as well, such as the media, higher education, youth, women, and the disability sector. One of the cultures that we have is to market our country negatively. And therefore it is important to meet those who create stories to understand that we need to promote our country. Honorable Chairperson, the fight against crime continues to be a high priority for government. We are concerned about the high rate of armed robberies at malls and shopping centers in all provinces, but especially in Gauteng and the Western Cape. It is, however, important to note that in responding to this threat, police have, in the past few days, made considerable number of key arrests to stem the noted increase in all robberies and also violent crime in general. South African Police has launched the Operation Duty Calls campaign, which is the festive season safety campaign to make South Africans to be safer and to feel safer. It is proven that high crime incidents occur between October and January. The festive season campaign is focused on all aggravated robberies, the proliferation of firearms, second-hand goods, tracing and arresting of wanted suspects, as well as road safety and border security. Honorable Chair, honorable members, let me emphasize that we are seriously concerned about the proliferation of guns in our society and the level of violence that we have seen on display. To this end, please, we'll take advantage of the proposed changes in Firearms Control Act to introduce more stringent measures for gun control and ownership. For gun control and ownership. The police anti-crime campaign encompasses various activities during the forthcoming 16 days of activism on violence against women and children, which begins on the 25th November. We urge the public to participate actively so that we eliminate all forms of abuse of women and children. Honorable Chair, honorable members, up to 1994, our country had been a pariah state. We are now a proud member of the international community. We remain steadfast in our foreign policy commitments to promote a better Africa and a better world. We joined the BRICS Forum in the past administration, which was a major achievement for our country. On the 15th July to the 14th, the BRICS finance ministers signed an article agreement establishing the new development bank. The bank is expected to provide much-needed funding assistance to our vast infrastructure projects, not only in this country, but the continent at large. Next week, we will travel to Australia to participate in the G20 summit, where we will promote inclusive and equitable growth for the developing world. We continue to play a role in SADC, working with sister countries locally. During the ordinary meeting of the summit of the heads of state and government of the Southern African Development Community in August this year, South Africa was elected as the chairperson of the SADC organ Troika, on politics, defense, and security cooperation. We continue to work for peace and stability. Deputy President Cyril Ramaphosa continues to support the people of Lesotho to resolve their challenges as SADC facilitator. The Deputy President is also playing a mediatory role in South Sudan to promote peace between Sudanese parties. We have also appointed envoys for the Israeli-Palestinian conflict to encourage the estranged parties to return to the negotiating table. Distinguished guests, we have come a long way since 1994. We have made remarkable progress in the past 20 years. The NCOP has played a key role in the progress made, and we must work together to continue to bring about a better life for all. This House, as the voice of provinces, will play an important role in ensuring that the legislation coming out of our parliament is transformative and will lead to a better life. Compatriots, let us continue to work together as we move South Africa forward. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. Honorable members, we want to acknowledge that 7 of the 9 premiers of the provinces of South Africa are here. One premier could not make it. He is not feeling well. The other premier could not postpone a trip, but both premiers have ensured that they are well represented. We want to also acknowledge amongst us the speakers from the provinces, MECs. We want to acknowledge MPLs from the different provinces of South Africa. We also want to acknowledge the delegation led by the Deputy Chair of SALGA and SALGA delegation. You're all welcome. We now move on to the debate on the annual address of the President, and I take this opportunity to invite the Honorable R.J. Tau, the Deputy Chairperson of the NCOP.
Your Excellency, President Jacob Zuma, Chairperson of the National Council of Provinces, Honorable Premiers present, Honorable Members, this annual address by the President to the National Council of Provinces is indeed very significant, or it is a very significant undertaking of our Burguian democracy. It lends credence and validity to the constitutional legitimacy of the NCOP as a potent platform for expressing provincial interests. As we celebrate 20 years of our democratic parliament, which is an apex achievement in building a responsive people's parliament and a compelling metaphor of our democratic stability in South Africa. It is indeed good to be a South African today, Honorable President. Particularly as we reflect on our cumbersome and testing journey of transformation, which began 20 years through the efforts of the architects of our democracy. Having battled the unrelenting onslaught to harm the reputation of our nation's leadership collective through attempts aimed at decreasing respect, regard, or confidence in the democratic systems that we have worked so diligently to build and sustain, Honorable President, we remain standing. Despite the concerted attempts to damage the good name and reputation of our leadership collective over the years, particularly through the manipulation and framing of information, we will remain standing as a cause to ensure that as we transcend South Africa into a new dimension of radical economic transformation. It is worth noting that the slander and contempt that we are often faced with was indeed experienced by the founding fathers of our democracy. It was by no mistake that during his State of the Nation address on the 17th of February 1995, our former President Nelson Mandela had to say, and I quote, "Whatever our critics might have to say, we can stand pride in the fact that not only did we succeed in establishing our two houses of parliament as required by the Constitution, we have also ensured that they play their role in the governance of our country," unquote. Today, we can take pride in the fact that we have succeeded in building a big-wing democratic parliament with an illustrious 20 years lifespan. I believe that it is safe to say that we have advanced in the light of our resolve to dismantle the oppressive systems of the past, and we continue to work in ensuring that as we proceed, ours is about ensuring that the constitutional deliverables we are able to achieve. I also believe that we have proven our political dexterity as a country in that we have continued to ensure that we deploy the very best amongst our ranks to lead this nation forward. If our struggle heroes were able to withstand intimidation, torture, and displacement, surely we too can withstand the vile manifestations of untruth and slander. In the past, this House has often come under attack and harsh criticism. This onslaught is often initiated by those who criticize carelessly through feeble attempts that often display feeble political posturing. These are attempts that often seek to weaken or misconstrue the legitimacy of our democratic institution in an effort, of course, to delegitimize this era of our democratic evolution. Despite the regressive rhetoric that often attempts to reduce the legitimacy of this institution, it is an undisputed fact that we remain to be a constitutionally mandated and relevant institution. We will continue to evolve in dynamism, relevance, and potency as a catalyzing institution which aptly, of course, echoes the voices of our people. Certainly through the democratic sacraments practiced on the NCOP institutional platform that we have brought together and ensured that at all times we bring together radical transformation by ensuring that all spheres of government work together. It is indeed to be, once more, I must emphasize, it is indeed good to be a South African today. We not only celebrate our democratic transition as a movement and as a country, but reflect on the key catalysts, that is the institution of parliament,
but the bells are still ringing. Order, the honorable members must take their seats. I would like to remind members that they may only vote from their allocated seats. When requested to do so, members must simply indicate